In this lecture, I'd like to give you a demonstration of the Blynk platform. In this example that I've set up for you, I've got an Arduino Nano 33 IoT and ESP32 dev kit. It's just a generic dev kit, nothing special about it. I've got my Blynk app on my phone here, and I've got a Raspberry Pi W0 that is running the Blynk server. Of course, everything that I show you is possible to do with the cloud Blynk server. You don't have to set up a private Blynk server, but I wanted to show you a complete example here. Now, the three components that make up the Blynk platform are right here in front of you in this example. As I said, you've got the smartphone application, you've got the devices connected to the smartphone application and controlled by it, and you've got the Blynk server. So let's have a look at examples of the functionality that the Blynk application provides me. So the example that I've set up contains two tabs, and this is something that you can configure from the application itself. I'm just going to tap somewhere here to reveal the widget library. As you can see, you've got a bunch of widgets that you can use. You can take one of those widgets, drop it on the area that you're designing on your application, and then configure each of these widgets. Each widget has got its own set of configurations. And then you can press play and the application, or the projects, I should say, starts working. This particular project is connected to two devices, and they don't have to be the same devices. In this case, as I said, we've got the Arduino Nano 33 IoT and an ESP32, but Blynk is compatible with a wide range of devices, like a huge range of Arduino devices, ESP32 and 8266, and a lot more devices are compatible with the Blynk platform. So those will then connect to your application via the server. That's where the server comes in. The server is the glue between your smartphone application and then the devices that are out in the field. They use some means of communications. In this case, I'm using Wi-Fi, but you can use Ethernet. You can use USB, even serial communications, or Bluetooth, depending on the device. The Blynk platform provides options for connectivity, and you can use the most appropriate option to connect a device to the Blynk server. The Blynk server that I am working with here is also exposed to the internet. It is working in my internal network, of course, but as you can see here, my phone is actually accessing it via the internet, and this is its public IP address. And in the course, I'm showing you how to do this. You can have multiple projects. In this case, I only got one, but you can have multiple projects running on your phone. And let's have a look at a couple of things that you can do. So for example, I've selected the ESP32 tab, and if I tap on this button, I can control the state of the LED, which is connected to, let's see, GPIO 21. All right, so general purpose input output 21. And actually this, having a quick look at the sketch, here's a sketch that is running on the ESP32, and you can see that there is no specific code that I have written in relation to GPIO 21 controlling this LED. So this functionality that allows me to read or manipulate GPIOs comes built into the Blynk firmware that is running on the ESP32, which in this case is this library here. On the other hand, if I want to do something like control the brightness of the green LED, then I can use, for example, a slider. So you can see as I'm moving the slider up and down, I'm changing the PWM value that is written on the green LED. And for this particular function, I did have to write a little bit of code. You can see the code here. Accessing this functionality via a virtual pin, as it's called. So Blynk can manipulate analog and digital pins, but it also creates a third class of a pin called the virtual pin, which you can bind to whatever code you want. So in this case, I was able to bind the slider to virtual pin 1, and then when the value of the slider changes, that information is being passed into this block where I can do something with it. Like in this case, I'm calling this function and I'm passing the PWM value so that I can change the brightness of the green LED. So this is a little example that I think it makes it easy to see the power of the Blynk platform, both in terms of how much you can do without doing much coding. But if you do need to do a bit of coding, that is a relatively simple task as long as you're familiar with programming devices like the ESP32 and the Arduino. Have a quick look at the widgets in the Arduino Nano 33 IoT tab. You can see here I've gone for a more graphical look in my application. I've got a high precision temperature sensor right here. This is the MCP9808, and that just passes temperature information to a superchart. So this widget is called the superchart, and also a value display right there that I can manipulate how the information that is coming from the sensor is rendered in this widget. I've also got a button for the LED, of course, simply to manipulate the state of GPIO 2 or digital pin 2 on the Arduino Nano. And down here, I've got another superchart. It's exactly the same thing like as this superchart up here, but this one renders information coming from the built-in IMU of the Arduino Nano. So I've got X, Y, and Z G-forces displayed. So if I make a change, you can see that the live rendering of those values draws those G-forces really nicely in my chart. Of course, all of this can also be data logged, and I can send it to CSV or export to CSV via email. And you can also maximize the rendering capabilities here are quite impressive for such a small amount of work that is necessary. Another interesting feature is the notifications. So the Blynk platform supports a variety of notifications, including via email. So if I press on this button here, just give it a minute, you'll see that an email is now sent containing the temperature, the current temperature. Let's actually have a quick look at that. So here's the email that just arrived in my inbox 0 minutes ago, and just displays some information dynamically that I configured and programmed into that email message. Another notification option is device notifications or smartphone notifications. So for example, if I unplug my Arduino from power, obviously communication is now disrupted. Just give it a few moments. And you can see a notification came on screen that my Arduino Nano 33 IoT just went offline. And also that is visible here under the devices listing, showing that my ESP32 is online, but the Arduino Nano is offline. Let's plug it back in. Give it a few more moments. And there's the Arduino Nano back online. Great. The last thing that I wanted to show you in this demo is a view of the administration pages for the Blynk server. So here I'm looking at Blynk administration, and you can see some of the information that is available here, provided via the website here. We can see, for example, the users that have created an account on this Blynk server, what is happening right now in terms of real-time statistics, requests per user, so we can see which users are active, the board types that are connected to the server, the various widgets that are present in the applications or in the projects that are running on the server, and so on. And the Blynk server is fully configurable. So if there's server properties, I'm going to show you how to edit, how to change. There's settings about the email Now, this Blynk server is fully featured, and it's basically the same software that is running on the cloud, with the ability for you, the end user and the administrator, to configure it in any way that you see fit for your projects. So I hope that this demonstration gives you a good overview of what you can do with the Blynk platform. All of the examples that I've given you in this Blynk project contain functionalities that I'll be demonstrating, I'll be explaining how to achieve in this course. So now I invite you to go on to the next lecture, where I'll talk a little bit about how to get the most out of this course. And after that, you can continue with section 2, where I'll introduce you to Blynk and help you get started.